I do have questions about whether Libya has anything to do with our national security, but the thing is, it's really most important is not the specifics of the war, but the specifics of the Constitution, because what I fear is an unlimited presidency, and someday we have a president who starts World War III without permission of Congress. That's a very, very dangerous precedent. And I guess what really upsets me is he had time to go to the UN, he had time to go to the Arab League, and so some say, oh, he has permission from the UN, so it's okay. Well, boy, if that's what we're living under, we really are completely ignoring our own Constitution. We never wanted one person, the president, to be able to decide to take us to war. We always wanted the debate between a president and a Congress, so we didn't go to war willy-nilly, or we didn't go to war without careful consideration. If the president were a real leader, here's what would have happened. When Libya escalated and we were out of session and he declared war while we were out of session, which is a little bit suspicious to begin with, if he were a true leader, he would have called us back. Every one of us, within 24 hours, would have been back. He should have come to Congress, spoken to a joint session of Congress, and said, I need the power to go to war, this is why, and explain to the people that there is no reason in the world why this shouldn't be openly, publicly debated. We go week after week in the Senate and do nothing. I feel like sometimes I should return my check because I go up, they do no votes and no debate. Look at this horrendous debt crisis. We don't debate that either.
You feel like you're not doing anything?
Yes, I feel... Absolutely. We go up week to week, and there's no debate in Congress, no debate in the Senate. We sit idly by. Some weeks we vote on 2 or 3 non-controversial judges, and we go back home.
Why is that?
I'm trying to get a vote on Libya. They say they don't have time. I was told that when I wanted to bring up my resolution on Libya, which I did force them to, but I had to kind of...
It got tabled like 90 to 10.
Yeah, and they weren't too happy with me because I used some parliamentary procedures to gain access to the floor, and they came running down to the floor. They were apoplectic that I had taken over the floor. And the thing is that we should be having these debates on the floor. They don't want to have any debate. I'm asking right now to vote on Libya. I have a resolution saying we're in violation of the War Powers Act. It's hard for me to get the floor unless I somehow sneak on the floor when no one's looking to try to get a vote. Why would we not want to debate great constitutional questions? When I ran for office, that's what I thought. There will be great and momentous debates on the floor. We don't have any because they prevent the debates from ever even beginning.
The president moved to attack Libya without constitutional authority. When I return to Congress, I'll be consulting with other members and introducing a bill that will call for a vote on Libya. We cannot stand by, be a rubber stamp for an administration that chooses to violate the Constitution and, frankly, violate U.S. law, because now he's in violation of the War Powers Act as well. The thing to keep in mind is the U.S. Constitution has primacy here. Congress has the sole authority to determine whether or not we go to war. Absent an imminent threat, the President doesn't have the ability to order our troops into combat. He can't say, well, he did it for NATO. You know, we don't live by what NATO does. The Constitution trumps NATO. He can't say it was the UN Security Council. The Constitution trumps the UN Security Council. This is about our Constitution, and it's time the President of the United States began to follow the same Constitution that in 2007 he was very clear, saying the President didn't have the authority to take our troops into war absent an imminent threat. So he knows better, and we have to call him on that, and Congress has to stand up for the Constitution. It's very plain. We're intervening in a civil war. The side that we're intervening on behalf of is now, excluding women from the process. They're rounding up people and detaining them, and there's a hint that they're committing some of the same practices that they accused Colonel Gaddafi of. Beyond that, isn't this really about oil? Isn't this about the fact that if you look near Benghazi, that's where most of the oil is? Right after the rebels solidified their control of the Benghazi area, they cut a deal with Qatar, a $100 million oil marketing deal. And they've been in Washington intimating that if we find a way to support them, that they're willing to be good to us on oil deals. Look, we have to take care of America first. We cannot be in a position where we're going into these wars. Our troops are already committed. We have problems here at home. We have budget problems. We have deficit problems. And yet we're ready for another war? Are you kidding me? I mean, this president has to be called to an accounting on this. And this is not an academic matter. This is about the Constitution, and if we stand by the Constitution, we'll be safe. But if we don't, we're looking at America going deeper into a war here. When we were told it was going to be a matter of days, not weeks, we're already in it months, and there's no end in sight. It needs to be understood how grave this matter is. This is not a small matter. To take the country to war absent congressional authority, in violation of the Constitution, and now in violation of the War Powers Act. You know, we don't need an impeachment, but we need and must require our president to follow the Constitution and establish U.S. law. We have to demand that, and Congress is the co-equal branch of government which the founders established for the purpose of making the determination whether or not we go to war. And it's time that Congress stood up for the Constitution, and tomorrow in Washington I'm going to be urging fellow members of Congress to join my resolution, which calls for a vote, and hopefully will lead us out of this mess that we've waded into in Libya.
And we'll be watching closely when you do. Congressman Dennis Kucinich for us today from Seattle. Congressman, thanks for joining us. Much appreciated.
Thank you.